Greetings, Shelpers, and welcome to the third annual Best Games of the Year according to a Talking Stained Glass Turtle Awards. As always, I'm your host, Tuluka Turtle. There were many great games in 2024, but 6 of them stood out for me, including 2 in early access that deserve honorary mentions. The first of those being Fields of Mystria. If you like simulation games, Sailor Moon type graphics, really cool mining systems, good perk systems, and a cast of colorful characters that you can even marry, you might be in the right place. You enter the town after an earthquake devastated it, and you are given a plot of land to tend to in order to help them fix things. It is just a great little game, and it has an interesting roadmap, so if you really like these games, don't miss this one. Our second honorary mention is TCG Card Shop Simulator. You run the card shop like all the other simulation games, but what really sets this apart is the ability to open the card packs you sell. So you can actually tear into boxes of these things and find foils and special ones and all this kind of stuff like you would an actual card game. Like if you're interested in Pokemon and unboxings and all the card pack openings, this might really scratch an itch for you. This is not a gacha game. You don't need to lay down any real money. You just have the fake currency of running the shop and having people play the card game in your shop and you selling them items and you able to actually collect or sell the loose cards yourself. It's actually a really cool concept. So cool, in fact, that there are people already trying to mimic it by putting out a game called TCG Card Market Simulator, which looks so eerily similar to it on the face, but it is not the same thing at all. The only bad part about this game is the card pack opening can take forever. We're talking IRL hours, but there are places, if you're on the game, where you can get mods in order to open up things better and faster, and I totally recommend that. So, for the fourth game of the year, we have Marvel Rivals. If you are longing for when Paladins was not corrupt or when Overwatch was good, this might be the thing for you. It has good team mechanics and it has all the, find the payload and get the spot and keep it away from the enemy and all that other good stuff. But this game has a mechanic with team up powers, where if someone on your team is a member of something that would interact in the universe, you might get a power up and weird up lines of dialogue or whatever. For instance, Magneto and Scarlet Witch are father and daughter, so she gives Magneto the power to wield a red sword for a bit. It's actually a really cool game, and a lot of people are playing it, and after playing it myself, I can definitely see why. The bronze this year goes to Bellatro. Do you like roguelikes? Do you like poker games? This is the game for you. Where it's simple to understand if you know anything about which hands are which in poker, the jokers, tarot cards, planet cards, vouchers, and even various standard cards give you a lot of variation to your gameplay. People all over the internet are talking about what builds are the best, and the only way to really win this game is to get such a high score the game cannot handle it. It is actually a simple game on its face and complex the more you go in, and it will suck up a lot of hours. Each deck has its own ability or drawback, and each deck will have its own level of different chips that you have to go through, which the chips stand for difficulties. So it's a game that has high replayability, and if you're into all that, you will love Bellatro. Our silver this year goes to The Plucky Squire. I love this game so much that after I beat it for myself, I immediately played it on stream. The story is great. You have characters in a book that don't know they're in a book except the bad guy does. And he finds out that he might be able to control the story. I absolutely loved this idea because the Plucky Squire, our hero, can jump from the book, which is pretty simple cartoony children's story graphics, into the 3D world. And it is kind of like a link between worlds that way, but they do it so well. And bosses have varied genres of gameplay. Like you'll have a punch-out boss, you'll have a rhythm boss, you'll have a magical drop boss, and just the cast of characters and everything that happened there was so good, as was the commentary a little bit about what stories can mean to people. And I really loved that. The only thing I really don't like is that the game is too dang short, and I don't really see that much replayability in it. But otherwise, such a great game, it was just a feast for the eyes. You know, every few pages was something new. You had to figure out word puzzles. It was an incredible experience for me. So glad I played it. So glad that it came out last year. I just cannot recommend this enough. And our first game of the year, though people may disagree with me on this because it technically came out in 2023, though it came out in 2024 for Xbox, is Dave the Diver. Yep, everyone knew it was coming. It's a fantastic game. Great characters, wonderful pixelated graphics, the two different modes of gameplay, collecting all the different fish to serve at your restaurant, or just filling out what basically amounts to a Pokedex for fish, or, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. Figuring out what happened in your main chef Bancho's past, hiring people to work at the restaurant, dealing with the sea people, like all of that. There is so much to this game. It is an incredible game. It is a long game. They are adding a lot of DLC to it. They've added things like Godzilla, where you fight the sea monsters, and you are even Godzilla for a moment in time where you have to fight the big like lobster crab boss thing. I forget its name. There is Dredge DLC, where you go out at night and you go fishing for the corrupt little sea creatures that you feed to the hooded ones. Even Bellatrix has gotten a place in Dave the Diver. And there are so many different types of gameplay in it as well. Like there are stealth segments and rhythm games that are on your phone. And even a Tamagotchi can be unlocked for you to take care of. It was such a cool experience with the story elements and everything in it and all the stuff they put in it. You can tell there's a lot of love in this game. I loved it from beginning to end. It had me hooked, and I can't wait to see what they do with it in the future, what a sequel might look like. It is honestly an incredible game. I did not see this coming. I did not think it would be as great as it was. But for me, this game was breathtaking in all facets. So, yeah, that basically concludes every game of the year for 2024. I will see you probably in January of 2026 to tell you about all the wonderful stuff that came out this year. Thank you so much for watching, Shelpers, and have an awarding year. Bye!